just recording a video wearing Kona here, and I thought, you know what? I think I should do a follow-up on Kona. I got Kona over the summer, and I really enjoyed her then. I wore so much I actually got burned out, stuck it away, you know, washed it, stuck it in the box under the counter, and just dug it out again today. And I realized, you know, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous wig. And I fell in love again with it, and I thought, you know what, I should do a follow-up to see what, you know, was going on here with Kona. So it's very light. Kona is very, very light, very airy. The things I love about Kona is, first of all, this is the honey with chai latte. The color is beautiful. I would call this a beige blonde. Yes, there is gold in it, but I see it as more of a beigey blonde. The other thing I love, not only the color, the actual color of Kona, is the rooting of this wig is beautiful. I have to say, out of all of my blondes that are rooted, this one is done perfection, like beautiful. I think that the rooting of this, as I mentioned when I did my actual Kona wig chat, which I will put the link to that down below in the comment box if you want to revisit that, or if maybe you haven't even watched it. It almost looks like there's a little tiny bit of gray in there, which looks so real. It's not, it's just probably the very lightest shade that they have in there, but they kind of spun that in there in the rooting, so it looks so realistic. It's not too dark, so it doesn't look terrible sitting up against my very fair skin. And I have to say, the rooting of this wig is exceptional. It is absolutely perfection. I have no qualms about any of the things related to the color or the rooting of this wig. The other thing I love about it is its believability. The amount of hair in this wig is so believable. If I could grow my hair out, you know, if I had enough hair up here to get anything like this, this would probably be what my natural hair would do and would look like if it could do that. So it gets very wispy, soft, and baby fine at the ends. I find that to be very realistic. It also sits nicely to the plane of the head without sitting on the wig cap, making it look very wiggy. And so it, again, looks realistic when it comes to that. It doesn't sit way up off the head. You know, it doesn't do that. And I think that lends to the believability of this wig. The lace front, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Look at that. It is undetectable, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I feel like this is such an underrated wig, and the funny thing is, I'm surprised I have not ordered any other Belle Tress wigs because I have loved this one so much. So the believability, the amount of hair. Now, if you were to take Kona off, stick it on the little wig, the rack, you would see it being very sparse, and you would worry that you could see the wefting when you have it on your head, but you don't. I have never been I've never worried about that. I feel like the rooting and all of that blends that all in, and it has never been an issue. But it is so light, and the amount of hair on Kona is so believable. And I love that about it. I don't feel consumed by this wig. I have never felt like I needed to fin it. And I love that. I have washed Kona once. She held up beautifully. Granted, I washed it in the Delicates. I will put a link again down below on how I wash my wigs and what I use to wash it with. I don't use any wig shampoos or shampoos at all. And I've done that the way I like to do and wash my wigs. I've done that to Kona here, and she has held up beautifully. And the reason why I did wash her is because I actually wore this wig when we had to move my daughter out of her apartment, and it was a 90 some odd degree day that day. She did not have air conditioning, and I sweated like crazy in this wig, so I felt like I needed to wash it, and she turned out great. So yes, the lace front, it's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I just think this wig is an incredibly believable, fun wig to wear. The other thing about this wig that I love is that you know how it is, and if you're a wig wearer, you do. Through the day, the wig tends to sort of fall in on itself, and it can look very like helmety. They kind of stick, it kind of loses its airiness, and you have to pick through it, and you do kind of have to brush through it through the day a few times to keep it fresh and not stuck to the cap. Even with product, I do use styling products in my wigs, and you know, if they are a medium length kind of wig, it doesn't even matter if it's even a shorter wig. You kind of need to get that air back in there. This wig doesn't do that. I don't know. I guess it has something to do with how light the fibers are, and the nice density that's in here. But this is the one wig that I have that doesn't tend to fall in on itself and turn to just this, you know, thing that I have to really kind of get that pick and, you know, rework it through so it'll look fresh again. I do that anyway to this, but for the most part, yeah, it doesn't do that so much. So there are many, many things and reasons why I love Kona, for sure. Let's talk about something that does drive me a little crazy with Kona. As much as I love this wig, all of those things I just mentioned, I have to say that I am waiting to take her off by the end of the day. And that's because I do tend to itch right around this hairline as it gets down to the ear tabs. I do get that itchiness, and unfortunately it becomes a problem. And so this is one of those wigs that by the end of the day I am ready to take off. It's not, that's really the only place is like right around here. And it doesn't bother me in the back. So it's just right around here. It's one of those. I have my Raquel Welch wigs. They do the same thing, and I think they probably do have moleskin. So I don't know. Maybe it's the material. But so that is an issue. The other thing about this is, again, with regards to the ear tabs or the temple tabs, whatever you like to call them, is there's very weak metal stays in here. So if you really want this wig to stay tight to the sides of your temples, you really have to curve them in. You do, because they are weak, and they want to flare out. But I find that if I do make a C and really curve them in, it helps to keep them closer to the temples of right through here. They might get a tiny little gap right in through here, but you don't really see it because you can pull out, you know, all of this, and it's not an issue. So really, to be honest, I would say that's the only two issues I have with this wig, and obviously they don't overpower the positive that I find with Kona by Belle Tress. So if you have not tried this wig and you are loving the kind of texture that's going on here and that kind of broken wave pattern, I think you need to give Kona a try if you haven't yet. I really loved Kona in the summer because it is very light and airy. So it was a fabulous alternative to wearing just really short wigs, which I don't tend to gravitate toward. So now I'm going to look forward to wearing Kona in the fall and winter. I absolutely forgot how much I do enjoy wearing this wig. So that's my follow-up with Kona. If you haven't checked her out, I really think you should. She is fun and fabulous. Looks fantastic in headbands. You can pull her up and back for hair accessories. And by the way, I'm wearing this a little odd for me because I am actually a left side parter, and this only has a mono part on the left side. But because of the curl pattern, it wasn't working for me over on this side. So I just took the front area, because it does have that lace front, and pulled just this part back. So just because you may have a left side part and you don't want to wear it there, you can start it out where that part is and then just bring, this is lace fronts, you can do this with lace fronts. You can still bring some of it to the right side. That's what I've done here, because with this particular curl pattern going like this, it just works better for me than keeping it over to the left side. The curl pattern just wants to stay flat against my head when I do that, and I like a little bit of a lift, so it just kind of worked with me better when I did it like this. So play with these kinds of wigs. Play with the wigs that have these kind of funky wave patterns until you get it to work for you. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I hope this helps if you're pondering a Belle Tress wig. Bye-bye.